In this video, I'm going to show you how to update a node value by its index in a doubly linked list. For this method, I'm going to call it set. Set will take in the index and the value. So with that index, we will go through our list and locate it. And once we locate that node, we will update the value with this argument here. So to get started, we're going to check, is the index out of bounds? And for that, we're going to take this edge case here from the remove method, paste it in, and it will be like this. So it's going to be, if it's a negative number or if it's greater than the length, then we're going to return undefined. But I'm going to change this up a little because I want this method to return a boolean, either true or false. So in this case, instead of undefined, I'm going to return false. All right, next is we're going to set the variable for the current node. So let current node, to start off, it's going to be the head. And for this, we're going to use a loop. And we're going to loop while the loop index is not equal to the argument index. So here we're going to use a for loop. For let I is equal to 0. So start at 0. And the condition is to loop so long as I is not equal to the index provided as an argument. And we're going to increment by 1 each iteration. So as we enter this loop, we're going to update the current node. So we're going to do current node now becomes the current node's next. All right, so at this point, the loop will end or finish once we arrive to the location of the list in which we want to make the update. So in this case, say we have this 24 here, and that's where we want to update the value from 24 to say 34. So we would have list.set and set the index. The index is 0, 1, 2. So at index 2, we want to update it with the value of 34. Just like this. All right. So once we loop, the end of the loop will arrive at this node. So the current node's value will be this node here. So at that point, we can update the value. So we just have to do current node dot value will now become the value passed in as the second argument here. All right. And then in this case, we are not going to decrement the length or increment the length because we are not adding anything or removing anything. All we're doing is updating. So in that case, we don't have to do that. What we do want to do here is, as I mentioned earlier, is that we want to return a boolean, either true or false. So in this case, if we arrive here, then that means that the method was successful in updating, so we can return true. So there you go. So there's that. Let's go ahead and test this here. So this should return true. I'm going to go ahead, save, and then run the code. You see true. What if I passed in a negative index? So instead of 2, let's do -2. So that should return false and execute this code here. So let's go ahead and run that. You see false. Okay, what about an index greater than the length? Let's just do index of 6. That's greater than this length of 4. So it should be false as well. If I run that, also false. Okay. What if I did an index of 1? So that will be here the 7. I want to update from 7 to 34. If I save that, it should be true. And there you go. You get true. But what if we want to return the list just to see it, right? I do want to keep this method here to make, to give you other options and see that you can return a Boolean as well, either true or false. But let's see, to be able to look at the list and see that that update was also indeed changed, give us further proof. Let's do this. Yeah, let's do console log the list. So let's console log that list, and let me do this from index of 1 to index 2. So this here, this is index 2, and I want to update from 24 to 34. All right, that is this statement here. So I want to see that that indeed occurs using this console log. So if I run this code, all right, so we see we get the doubly linked our list here. The head is showing 2, so the head is 2. If we, what's to the right of it? 7. So let's expand that, and you see we get a node of 7. And what's to the right of 7? It's 24. So actually no, I'm sorry, this is the node that we updated from 24 to 34. So next to 7, it should end up being 34, because that was the updated value, right? So it should be 34, not 24. Let's check it out. So we expand, you see here a node of 34, and if we look to the right of here, which is, it's now 34, it's 75. So if we expand that, we see node of 75. And if we expand that, the next is null because it is a tail. And if and there you go. All right, so now you see that we are able to update a value, any node value, using the index that was provided as a first argument.